네, 안녕하세요. 승승장구 이프로입니다. 얼마 전 리플의 CTO인 기술총 책임자인 데이비드 슈월츠가 세계 최고 수준의 블록체인 매체인 이 코인데스크와의 인터뷰를 진행을 했었는데요. 리플은 현재 RLUSD 스테이블 코인에 대해서는 규제와 부합하는 안정적인 신뢰 기반의 스테이블 코인을 출시를 했으며 다양한 블록체인 생태계 속에서 상호 운용성을 확보해 기관과 대중들에게도 이 RLUSD를 채택시키고자 하는데요. 해당 내용, 앞으로의 리플이라는 회사 자체의 방향성과 미래를 논하는 것인 만큼 우리 XRP 코인에 대해서도 그 가치에 큰 영향이 있을 것임에 여러분들도 꼭 이 내용을 꼼꼼히 숙지하시면 좋으실 것 같아서 가져와 봤습니다. 영상 보시기 전에 구독과 좋아요 한 번씩 부탁드리면서 저 또한 일일이 번역을 하면서 많은 것을 알게 되었습니다. 그만큼 중요한 내용이니 끝까지 시청해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Ripple Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Great. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great to be here. You know, Andy and I have been talking all day about this convergence of the traditional financial world and the crypto world that has been building, that both of us have been such a part of for the last so many years. Talk to me from your standpoint, from building Ripple for so long, from going through the ups and downs of Ripple, being here today, what it means for you.
It's tremendously exciting. I feel like we really are on the cusp of the mass institutional adoption, both of DeFi and of other blockchain technologies. I think this is also like one of the key obstacles to mass retail adoption. A lot of people in the space previously thought that retail adoption was like the big wave, but I think institutional adoption is a precursor. You have to connect to where people are. You have to go to where the value is. You can't build a new financial system from zero, ignoring the existing financial system where everybody's money is, where all the value is, where the real world is, trillions of dollars in value. You can't just say, oh, forget about all that. Let's just build something new over here. It doesn't work. And so I think this wave of institutional adoption over the next year or two is going to be what's going to pave the way for mass retail adoption. And then we can deliver on those promises. Like, we all want to bank the unbanked, but like the unbanked, like, they have to be able to spend their money to buy groceries and pay their phone bill. And so we have to have that institutional connectivity. And I don't think there are any obstacles. I think that's and I think this conference shows that.
You guys have shown a tremendous amount of resilience over the last couple of years and helped score some of the biggest wins from of the industry against those who doubted it. XRP is in one of our flagship indices and was a top performer. It's been an exciting couple of months. Like, how has the perception of the firm change from inside and outside? A lot of people are taking a look at Ripple that really maybe hadn't before. How are you thinking about conveying what the company does to people who are looking at it for the first time?
Yeah, it has been a huge difference. 4 years ago, we had what I called the worst Christmas ever when I found out that the SEC was suing us.
Yes.
And a lot of people thought that would just be the end of our business, and it could have been. And I'm glad to say that the industry eventually rallied around recognizing the regulatory overreach, and I think things have gotten obviously a lot better since then. More recently, the changes in the United States over the past couple, month or so have just been, unbelievable. And it has unlocked business in the United States, but also business overseas. I think a lot, I didn't realize this until the change happened. There were a lot of other countries that kind of take their regulatory cues from the United States. And so when the United States didn't seem serious, they didn't really seem all that serious either. Now there's more international competition to bring in innovation. I think now we also, Ripple has a new product, Rlusd, which is a stable coin, which we think is going to be great for applications ranging from things like payments to DeFi, as a collateral, as a way of moving value from one place to another. And then, of course, the XRP ledger adding DeFi capability. That's not the first generation of DeFi capability was very experimental, and it was looking for like absurdly high yield. It was gambling, let's be honest, it was gambling. That's cool, like that attracts people. Vegas was built on gambling, right? But like the next wave of real utility is going to be built around things that are much less interesting. A savings account is not super interesting. It doesn't provide high yield, doesn't have high risk. You don't check the balance of your savings account every day, but it has real world utility. And I think that avenue of real world utility that Ripple's leaned hard into is the tokenization of real world assets, from very useful financial products all the way to things like venture capital and real estate and, that whole spectrum.
You mentioned Rlusd, and Andy asked one of our guests this earlier, and I want to get your opinion on it. Do we need so many stable coins? What is going to happen in this world of stable coins as this industry becomes more mature?
We don't need that many stable coins. There's reasons why you might want more than one. There is actually some special.
Two, right?
Well, one is diversification of risk, right? It would be really weird if we build this entire DeFi ecosystem that's all decentralized and it's all based on Ripple's reserve, and if Ripple collapses, the whole system There might be people who don't trust Ripple. I don't know why they wouldn't, but and they wouldn't be able to use Rlusd, and obviously the whole world, right? So yeah, you can make an argument that there's some small number. But there is some specialization that really does happen. Stablecoins aren't yield-bearing, and so that they're not volatile, and they're tied to jurisdictions. They're tied to particular entities. So you could sort of imagine a world where you have this proliferation of millions of stablecoins. I don't think that's, millions is obviously not true, but like a large number. I think there probably will be a bit of a shakeout and some consolidation. But I do think, 5, seems like roughly the right order of magnitude.
Right.
네, 앞선 영상 시청 잘 하셨을까요? 영상을 이제 요약해서 정리를 좀 해드리자면, 현재 전통금융과 암호화폐 간의 융합이 가속화되고 있으며 대중들에게 다가가기 전에 제도권 기관의 채택이 선행되어야 된다고 강조를 했는데, 이는 기존의 금융 시스템을 배제한 채 새로운 금융 인프라를 구축하는 것은 불가능하며, 이미 모든 가치와 자본 같은 경우에는 기존 시스템에 존재를 하며 이를 연결하는 상호 호환성을 강조를 했습니다. 그리고 이제 리플과 XRP 토큰에 대한 인식 변화인데요. 이제 SEC와의 소송 이후에 리플은 기업과 투자자들에게 새로운 관심을 받고 있는 상황이며, 특히 미국 내 규제 환경의 변화는 리플에게 국내외 사업 확장에 긍정적인 영향을 주고 있으며, 소송 이후에는 시장 전반에 리플의 신뢰가 점점 회복하고 있다라는 것입니다. 그리고 가장 중요한 Rlusd, 리플의 스테이블 코인이죠. 이제 Rlusd는 뉴욕주의 신탁회사를 통해 발행이 되며 단기 국채와 현금성 자산으로 100% 담보가 되기 때문에 높은 신뢰도를 지닌다라고 설명을 했으며, 주 사용처는 결제 시스템, 디파이 생태계, 크로스 체인 자산 이전 등에 활용이 된다라고 말을 했습니다. 이제 다른 스테이블 코인과의 차이점으로는 주체 회사인 리플의 견고한 재무 상태, 정기적인 회계 감사를 통한 투명성, 그리고 미국 내 준수 기반의 발행 구조를 예로 들었습니다. 네, 여기까지 제가 요약까지 해드렸는데요. 이게 인터뷰 내용이 좀 많다 보니까 오늘 준비한 거는 이제 1부인데요. 2부 영상 같은 경우에는 내일 업로드가 될 예정이기 때문에 꼭 이제 구독 누르셔가지고 챙겨 보시기를 바라고요. 이제 말로만 Rlusd 스테이블 코인 하다가 이게 어디서 쓰일지 어떻게 확장을 할 건지에 대해서 구체적인 계획을 들어봤는데, 여러분들은 이에 대해서 어떻게 생각을 하십니까? 의견 자유롭게 댓글로 부탁을 드리겠습니다. 그러면 저는 2부 영상으로 다시 찾아뵐 수 있도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.